Pixelkin.
PAX South was basically indie games central. And you know what? After the crushing neon madness that was PAX Prime, it was pretty nice to go to a convention where indie games were the center of attention. I scoured the show floor looking for the most fun, the most creative, the most bestest of all the indie games. And I found them. And here they are. Check-In Knockout by Lionade Games and published by Tiny Build had me literally shrieking with laughter. And if you know me, you know that that's not an exaggeration, and also that that's a horrible noise. You play as one of 4 characters trying to check into an overbooked hotel. Because, you know, none of you can actually get in, a brawl breaks out right there in front of the hotel. Except you're not using weapons, you're using pieces of the hotel, literally ripping them out and throwing them at each other. As the game goes, the platforms that you're standing on get smaller and smaller and smaller until basically everyone has fallen off the stage. It's a pretty simple brawler that uses its setting really well. We went through a couple times just to get the hang of it, and then like 3 more times because it was so much fun. Check-In Knockout will be coming to PCs and consoles in 2015, and it has 4-person local co-op. Adventures of Pip from TikTok Games has one of the best concepts for a side-scrolling platformer that I've seen. Basically, the world has a class system based on how high a resolution you are, you know, 8-bit, 16-bit, etc., etc. Pip, our main character, is just a little tiny little square, 1 pixel, pretty low down. But then an evil queen turns everyone else into single pixels as well. For Pip, this isn't a big deal. He's always been a single pixel, so it's up to him to save the day. Eventually, you run into bit beasts that allow Pip to turn into higher res versions of himself. 8-bit Pip can punch and kick and wall jump, while 16-bit Pip is strong and can carry a sword. Getting through the game requires devolving yourself, which you can do at a whim, and re-evolving yourself into the higher res versions to get past certain obstacles. You have to kind of time it correctly and figure out what version of yourself you need to be to get through to the next stage. Adventures of Pip will be available on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Wii U, and Steam. The Gordion Knot is an upcoming platform game from Quid Media. I was really impressed with this one. I think often it's kind of hard to do a platforming game on mobile, but the Gordion Knot handles well and it looks great. The game integrates momentum and items into the gameplay, and best of all, there's no death mechanic. It's meant to kind of evoke the nostalgia of pixelated platformer games, but without being super punishing, which I personally really appreciate. There's a 3-star rating for each level, so you can go through and do as well as you want or as poorly as you want, and it gives you the incentive to replay them. The Gordion Knot will be available for Windows 8, Android, and Kindle, with later releases planned for the web and iOS. You can check out the soundtrack right now at GordionKnotGame.com. Lightfall was probably the indie darling of PAX South, and it's a title that is totally well-deserved. Created by Bishop Games, Lightfall is a gorgeous game that aesthetically resembles Limbo a lot, but the gameplay is a lot speedier, and in my experience, a lot less punishing. Lightfall takes place in a world that's wreathed in darkness, and you play as a boy who just pops up there with no memory of who he is. But the real joy of the game comes from just running and leaping and wall jumping past obstacles. The really cool thing that Lightfall does with its platforming gameplay is that it gives you the ability to generate cubes in midair. So basically, if you're in the middle of a jump and you can sense that you're definitely not going to make it, you can generate a cube, bounce off that instead, and go to the next obstacle. It was still challenging, but it was so much fun. I really can't stress just what a joy it was to speed through the world, or to even just take your time, place your blocks, look around at what's going on, and explore the environment. I am really excited to play this one when it comes out and see if the story lives up to the incredible gameplay. Lightfall will be coming to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Vita, as well as PC and Mac. Brawlhalla is a brawler that aims to fill the holes in the cold, lonely hearts of those of us who do not have a Wii U, but would still like to play Super Smash Bros. It's pretty straightforward as a brawler goes. You have a bunch of really cool characters who are duking it out on floating platforms and one victor who comes out on top. It's aiming for PC gamers and there's an early access version of it on Steam right now. There's something really appealing about a totally unapologetic beat 'em up game, and Brawlhalla has really cool character designs, fun gameplay, and awesome weapons. So check it out if you need a new brawler in your life. Super Slam Dunk Touchdown immediately appealed to me as a person who loves sports but has absolutely no working knowledge of them. In Super Slam Dunk Touchdown, you assemble your team of a bunch of different kinds of sports players. You can have a football player, a roller derby person, a basketball hooper, a ice hockey slapper. So you unite all of these athletes together and you can score in pretty much as many ways as you have different athletes on your team. You know, there's a football square and a basketball circle and a hockey rectangle. I am super pumped about this game because I would love to sit down and play a sports game, but I'm never going to be compelled by a traditional football or basketball sim. Super Slam Dunk Touchdown takes all the awesome parts of those sports and just mashes them all together. You can actually play the game right now. It's in a pre-alpha version and available for download online, but it will be released for PC and Mac when it's finished. And that was our PAX South experience. I also bought this awesome shirt there from Sanchi.com. Let us know what your favorite PAX games were in the comments below and subscribe to this channel, do it right now, and check out more of our coverage at pixelkin.org.